Hi! So let's immediately get into it. I want to discuss the toxic habits of each zodiac sign and also refer to the placements above. Let's do it in order, starting with Aries. Aries, you tend to have a lack of empathy. You will give somebody an action plan instead of an actual shoulder to cry on. Y'all can be selfish as fuck. Like, y'all get what you need, period. And Aries is a radical self-lover that is just never going to compromise. And you also have a tendency of using people as tools, as agents of getting the things that you need. You have a short temper and you're impulsive. And Aries, you guys are great initiators, but you just hate finishing shit. And lastly, jealousy. Jealousy for an Aries can be coming from a byproduct of their competitiveness. So be mindful of these things. Next up, we have Taurus. A Taurus will forgive, but they will never forget. Be prepared to be ignored by that Taurus because they tend to avoid and dislike conflict. And they sabotage their relationships because of this avoidance. Y'all don't listen to anybody else. You guys think you're right all the time. And lastly, just for something for you guys to really think about, Taurus, you do have a tendency to consider material possessions and physical comforts as more important than spiritual values. So look out for that. Next up, we have Gemini. You're selfish. Their quest for excitement and variety, it might make them come off as inconsiderate. And due to a Gemini's high intelligence and quick wit, it does make us arrogant. Oh yeah, I'm a Gemini. Our sharp tongues, it makes us seem condescending and dismissive. But the unfortunate or low-key iconic thing about Geminis is just the fact that we are unapologetic. Like, we just don't give a fuck. A Gemini could be watching this right now and not be surprised by any of the toxic traits being listed. We're very self-aware of how we are. We really just don't care. And because of this, we might also find it really hard to admit fault and take responsibility. But this lack of remorse, it can impede on our personal growth and it can strain our relationships. Next up, we have Cancer, the emotional manipulators. You guys have this ability because you are highly adept at reading people and navigating complex emotions. Just that you also use this ability to control people, or at least try to. This can include guilt tripping them, passive aggressiveness, using their emotions to influence other people's actions. And God forbid you get called out, then you love to play the victim. And then when you turn those tables, you'll end up making other people feel obligated to cater to your emotional needs. And then lastly, you guys have a streak of being extremely insecure, and this can really put some tension in your personal lives. So just look out for that. Next up, we have Leos, huge egos. You can be stubborn and headstrong. When it comes to Leos, it's their way or the highway, and this makes it very difficult to deal with you guys, and you guys can be very dominating. Your ego pushes y'all to believe that y'all are always right. Nobody can tell you nothing. And nobody specifically can tell you anything about yourself. You do not take criticism well. Like, I'm praying for Leos right now as y'all watch this. Y'all gonna make it through. Almost done. Jealousy creeps in when Leos feel a lack of attention from their partners. Like, they secretly need their partners to keep them on a pedestal. So just look out for that, guys. Next up, we have Virgos. Let some shit go. You guys dwell on the past too much. Y'all are workaholics with impossibly high standards that sometimes you guys don't even measure up to. Virgos are hard to reason with. It's very difficult to try to dissuade a Virgo once they have an idea in their head or if they just have their mind set. And then y'all are too tense. Loosen up a bit. Unwind. Unclench the anus. And it's because you guys over worry and you just have this distrust in others. So just work on that and look out for that, guys. Next up is Libra. You're too aloof. Despite your likability, you still struggle forming deep bonds. And this can lead people to feel neglected. This aloofness, it stems from desire to maintain balance, I think. And sometimes at the expense of emotional intimacy. Y'all are egocentric. You focus on your own needs. And this strains your relationships by overshadowing your loved ones, all because of your need for attention and validation. So just look out for that, Libra. Next up is Scorpio. Boy, do you have some trust issues. Y'all are masters at hiding your insecurities. You hold people at an arm's length for your own self-protection. Even if you're in a Scorpio's inner circle, it's like you still have to prove your worthiness to them. Scorpios are constantly testing people. And then y'all have that taste for blood. Y'all are vengeful. Forgiveness just isn't in a Scorpio's nature. They're prone to anger. So for a Scorpio, they do believe that an eye for an eye. So just look out for that, Scorpio. Take it easy. Next up, we have Sagittarius. Y'all are far too blunt. Like, who says exactly what they're thinking? Have a filter. Because y'all are so focused on the now, y'all are reckless. Due to your impulsivity, you tend to take things for granted. Because of your love for independence, it also makes you emotionally distant. Like, they'll be there for you, but sometimes it'll be hard for them to comprehend your feelings. And next up, we have the Capricorn, who loves to project their ambitions onto others. It is crucial that Capricorns do not hold others to their own high standards. Y'all can be daydreamers who easily tune people out. You can be ungrateful and lack patience. Capricorns just struggle to enjoy their reality because of their high expectations. So be mindful of that distraction. Next up, we have the excessively secretive Aquarius. Aquarians, they value privacy, so they really keep their lives, thoughts, and feelings guarded. They do this because they have a deep-seated fear of betrayal. Y'all are neglectful of your loved ones. They overanalyze too much because they're deep thinkers and even space out when someone is talking to them. Their wit is one of their greatest assets, and so sarcasm comes to them naturally, and they don't even realize it. People unaccustomed to their sense of humor will easily take offense. Next up, we have Pisces. Ooh, y'all be lying. Pisces is creative and wildly imaginative, but this can also make it easy for them to make some shit up. And y'all don't want to take responsibility for nothing. If they get involved in the project and run into a little snafu, they're easily going to start to blame people with the quickness. And this evasive tendency, it's also present in your relationships, Pisces. You guys avoid solving problems and blame it on your partners. This tendency to avoid responsibility makes Pisces unpredictable and unreliable in relationships. Okay, let me wrap this up, man, because I know I hurt enough feelings, even my own, with that Gemini and Sagittarius read. But it was the truth. Well, let me know in the comments.